with another video. So today I'm going to be talking to you guys about my goals that I set for myself for the year 2021. We're a little bit late because, we are a couple weeks into the year, but not too much. So if you have not already set your goals, definitely get going on that. It's never too late to make changes. Okay, so before we get started, I do want to give a little bit of background. So I am going to be turning 30 this year. So I guess pretty much since I turned 29 and then with the pandemic and everything, I've just very much been in a mode of upgrading my life. So I guess you could say it's kind of like a glow up year. So I am really making changes in my life in pretty much every aspect. So in terms of finances, in terms of my physical health, in terms of my mental and emotional health, and just in terms of, my outward appearance and all that. So that's really kind of the phase that I'm in. So the goals that I set definitely cover multiple categories. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get started. All right. So the first aspect of my life that I'm going to mention is finances. So I have always been really good about saving, budgeting, and everything like that. Ever since I was a kid, that's how I've been. And now I am an engineer, so I do have, decent income to play with. But one thing that I am not good at is investing. Up until now, pretty much all of the investments that I have are basically I put money into some sort of managed fund and I basically tell them what my goal, I need the money in, 5 years and whatever, and they just invest for me. And then I get notifications, you received dividend, I checked my account, I made money, I lost money. It is what it is. I don't choose any investments. I have never in my life just bought stock in any one company or purchased myself just a specific mutual fund or anything like that. I don't do it. So I've always been, I guess, kind of afraid of what would happen. What if I buy stock in this company, then the company goes bust? Or people talk about going into real estate and then I'm like, well, do I want to be a landlord? What if my tenants don't pay? Especially now with the pandemic, it's like, well, if I'm going to buy rental property, I feel like I need to be able to pay the whole cost of that without relying on rent, because now a lot of people are not paying rent and then that makes me uncomfortable. And everything is just, I guess you could say I'm very risk averse. That's really what it is. So right now, the phase that I'm in is I'm learning more about different investments like swing trading and, more short-term, long-term options. And so my goal for this year is to basically create a plan for myself. What is my long-term strategy so that I can prepare for retirement and everything like that? And also the actual goal that I'm going to track is I want to invest in at least one thing by myself. So I need to at least buy a company stock or something, right? I need to do something myself without relying on some sort of investment advisor to do it for me. The next aspect that I want to address is my mental and emotional health. So like so many other people, 2020 was a lot. I had, deaths in my family. I went through a breakup, things like that happened. And all of those things really just, I guess you could say, took a toll on me to an extent. And I realized that I wasn't really prioritizing myself. I wasn't really doing my self-care routines. I wasn't really, doing those things that really make me feel good. So in addition to that, I also noticed after the breakup that I was kind of having the same types of patterns in my relationship. The same types of issues were popping up again and again in different relationships. And I was like, why is this? Why is this happening? I don't like it. This is not how I want to live. So I made the decision to see a therapist. So I have been seeing a therapist for the past few months. So that's not really a goal, but just something I did want to mention. So the goals that I set surrounding mental and emotional health are A, to continue with my therapy, B, to really get back into doing my self-care routines. So for me, self-care is kind of in two different categories. I have a nighttime routine, which is designed to be done every day, but I don't know when the last time I did my full nighttime routine was. I've been slacking. I find myself staying up late doing random stuff, and basically I don't take the time to kind of wind down and get myself ready for bed. Then I end up staying up later because I can't sleep, and it's just not a good situation. So the goal for this year is to do that nighttime routine at least 5 days per week. And I said 5 days because I did want to give myself a little bit of wiggle room in case, it's Friday, it's Saturday, I might go out, I might come home late, whatever, assuming outside opens up and is safe again. But yeah, so 5 days per week. And then I have a longer, I guess you could call it a pamper routine, where I do my face mask, I have my steamer, I take my bath, everything is nice. So my goal right now is to do that at least twice a month. My ultimate goal is to do it once a week, but I'm trying to set realistic goals. That's kind of how I operate. So that's basically the goals that I set in terms of mental and emotional health. So the third aspect that I want to mention is physical health. This I saved later, not because it's less important, but just because this is probably my main area of focus for this year. I gained some weight a few years ago, and for the past couple years, I've really been struggling to lose it. And, I'm not like huge, but at the same time, I do weigh more than what I feel like I should weigh. And I also know that my eating habits are not the best, and I don't work out as often as I should. Additionally, I did get some blood work done a couple months ago, and some of the numbers were not quite where they should be. Like, everything is pretty much normal, but some of the numbers are more towards one end or another, and I feel like it would be better for it to be more centered, especially my thyroid. My thyroid is a bit off, and I feel like that may be contributing to the fact that I've had difficulty losing weight. So basically, goals that I set for myself regarding physical health are: 1, I'm going to go see a new doctor. I'm going to get a bunch of tests done, make sure I'm not deficient in any type of nutrients or anything like that. 2, I'm really making changes to my eating. What I found is that my main issues are not so much the food that I cook for myself during the week. I've been meal prepping for a few years. Generally speaking, the food that I cook is relatively healthy, or if it's unhealthy, at least I keep it to a small portion size. What I found is that where I struggle is on the weekend and with snacking. And the way that I figured this out is because there would be days I started weighing myself pretty much every day for a while. And what I would notice is that throughout the week, I would lose weight. And then the weekend would come and I would just gain it back. And I'm like, okay, so basically just these 2 days of eating junk food literally erased all the 5 days of good habits that I just did. So the goals that I set for myself this year are: 1, I'm continuing my goal that I had last year, which is to meal prep and eat my meal prepped food, because in the past I've had a habit of throwing away that food and end up eating out, which defeats the purpose of meal prepping. So I gave myself 1 pass so I can have 1 meal out of the week where I say, you know what, I don't want to eat what I cooked. I can throw it away and I can get something else. So that goal is already there. That's a carryover. But additionally, I added another goal, which is that I'm going to limit fast food consumption to 1 time per week. Not 1 day per week, 1 time per week. So if I eat a Chick-fil-A biscuit in the morning, that's it. I can't have fast food the rest of that day or the rest of that week. And the third goal that I set surrounding my food is that I'm going to start back tracking my calories. I've heard mixed things about tracking food and counting calories and things like that, but for me, I'm motivated by numbers. And when I log everything that I eat in an app and it's like, hey, you're 600 calories over your goal, it's like, oh man, like maybe I shouldn't eat this dessert that I was about to eat. And that will help me address the snacking aspect. So those are the goals that I set surrounding food. Additionally, I am going to start juicing. I just bought a juicer. Actually, I've already started juicing, but I want to start doing it more regularly. I didn't really set a goal surrounding that, but it is also something that I am planning to address. And the other side of the fitness is, of course, working out. So 2020, I had a goal to work out 1 day per week, and most of the time I did stick to that unless I was out of town or I was sick or whatever like that. This year, I'm increasing that to be 2 workouts per week. Ultimately, I would like to be working out 3 times a week, but we're, taking baby steps. And of course, I'm trying to lose weight. So basically, I'm trying to lose about 5 pounds per month and about a total of probably about 40 to 45 pounds, which sounds like a lot, but if I actually do 5 pounds per month, that's only going to take me about 8 months. So it's actually not that bad. And 5 pounds a month is basically 1 pound per week, which I've read that healthy weight loss is about 1 to 2 pounds per week. So it's definitely reasonable, definitely realistic, as long as I eat what I'm supposed to eat and work out. So the last aspect that I want to talk about is basically my physical appearance. This one is not really a goal, but I'm mentioning it because I did mention that this is kind of a glow up year. So one of the things I've already done is I've already gone and gotten microblading. Right now, you don't really see it because I'm in the stage where everything has kind of flaked off and then it's going to come back later, so we'll see how that works. But I did get microblading. I'm about to make some other changes to my physical appearance in terms of, wardrobe and other things like that. I may be showing you guys some of those different aspects, but we'll see. The microblading video will definitely be up next week, actually. So that is pretty much it. So the last thing that I wanted to do in this video is show you guys the tracking sheet that I created to keep track of my goals, especially the food, working out, self-care, those types of things where I set like specific numerical goals. So I did want to show you guys my tracking sheet. So 1 second, let me pull up my spreadsheet. Okay, so this is a spreadsheet that I created. So I called it 2021 goal tracking, and pretty much, so I have 3 tabs here. So I have this weekly tab, which is, as I said, weekly. So in this tab, I have 1 column for meal prepping. So basically, if I went that week where I ate my meal prepped food, all but, the one exception that I allow myself, I give myself 1 point for meal prepping. If I went through the whole week and I only had fast food 0 or 1 times, then I get 1 point for no fast food. And if I tracked my food in MyFitnessPal and I, didn't exceed my calorie goal more than 1 day out of the week, which I think I forgot to mention earlier, but yes, 1 day out of the week, I'm allowed to have a cheat day. And if I did that, then I get 1 point for MyFitnessPal. So the maximum points I can get per week is 3 points, and that is what my weekly goal is over here. So you can see I have food goal 3. So the next category here that I have, you can ignore this category column. I'll explain why I have that. But basically, I'm just keeping track of whether I met the goal, I didn't meet the goal, or if I haven't entered it, because I do have some charts later that I will show you guys. So then I have working out. So working out is pretty straightforward. It's just going to be a count of how many workouts did I do that week. And so for me, a workout needs to be at least 20 minutes long. And I'm not counting doing yoga as a workout unless I do yoga I think I said if I do yoga maybe 4 times or something, then I can count that as one workout, just because I feel like yoga, just one session of yoga is really not enough to achieve what I'm trying to achieve. Same category column here. Then I have my self-care routine. So I have pamper routine, which is basically I can get 1 point if I did it that week or 0 points if I didn't do it. And then I have my nighttime routine, which is going to be the count of how many nights per week I did my nighttime routine. And then the total, and of course, the category. So that's my weekly sheet. Then I have a monthly sheet. So basically, if you look at it, I have by month. And then pretty much I'm just summing up the totals for the weeks. So the way I've defined it is that if a week ends in that month, then I count it towards that month. So some of the months have 5 weeks, which you see I've written here. Then I have my weight loss, which is basically just going to be how many pounds did I lose that month. And I am keeping running totals of how many points I've earned or how many pounds I've lost, just so that, again, I can show you guys my graphs. And that's pretty much it for this sheet. And this is my favorite sheet. So like I said, I'm motivated by numbers, but I'm also motivated by charts and graphs. It's really nice for me to kind of see a comparison of where I'm supposed to be versus where I am. So I made this one chart, goal and current. So basically the red bars is my total goal for the year. And then as I go along, the blue bars will kind of increase to basically show how much I've done so far. So at the time that I'm filming this video, it is still December 31st, as you can see on my screen. So that's why I have not earned any points yet, because the year has not started yet. The next charts that I have are these pie charts. So I'm basically showing a pie chart of the category. So I had the met, not met, and not entered. So right now everything is not entered. But the reason why I did this is because let's say the end of the year comes or the middle of the year comes and I'm like, okay, am I on track, right? I want to be able to look at these graphs and say, okay, I'm not on track because look at all these weeks that I didn't meet my goal, right? So that's kind of why I'm doing that. And then these other charts are all the same. So basically weight progress. So I show my goal, which is the red line, and then the total I have so far is the blue line. So basically what this is saying is each month by month, obviously I should have lost more and more weight. I should have earned more and more food points, etc. And so the blue dots will illustrate where I was that month. So again, if I want to do a mid-year progress or an end-of-year progress, I can basically pinpoint, hey, look, I've met my goal every month. Cool. Or I can say, you know what, looks like April was a struggle month. What was going on in April? Why didn't I meet my goal? And then that way going forward, I can basically adjust for whatever that factor was and, make progress in the future. So that is pretty much it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with all your friends. And I'll see you next time. Bye.